Yo, what is happening, guys? Welcome back to the Let's Talk Fighting channel. Yes, as you can tell by the title on the thumbnail, we will be talking about Alex Wassabi versus Idubbbz Creator Clash 2. I'm talking about the fight. Now, I will just tell you, I did not watch the full fight. I fell asleep. I ended up just waking up this morning, watching some highlights of it, and that's what I'm going to base it off. But we're going to talk about it. Creator Clash 2, Idubbbz versus Alex Wassabi. Just going to talk about the main event, and we're going to talk about our opinions of improvement and what overall happened. So let's get into it. First up, round one, I noticed Alex Wassabi. I just want to say before I even do the breakdown, he improved a lot. Obviously, Idubbbz' last fight was against Dr. Mike, and he did Idubbbz improve is the question. That's what we're gonna answer. So Alex Wassabi came out, did very well, threw nice combinations, switched angles when needed to. Idubbbz issue, Idubbbz threw the same 1-2 over and over and over again, allowing Alex Wassabi to literally just constantly check left hook, throw those combinations. And what we learned is Alex is actually willing to let his hands go, which is good. When Idubbbz came close, Alex wasn't just hesitant. Jab, keep moving. Alex threw combos when needed to. When Idubbbz pushed him and they got in the clinch, Alex would slip, move to a different angle, start throwing, he would back up. Alex would control the pace, he would use his jab. So there was times he put his hand in the air to kind of distract, jab, and he would always stay on the move. He had very good footwork, very good combinations, stayed on the move, changed the angles, did all that. Idubbbz was making a mistake, like I said, by throwing the same 1-2 over and over again, which is literally allowing Alex Wassabi to think, right, he's throwing the same punches. I tried this, it worked. I'm going to try it again, and then continued to do that. And that was basically round one summed up. The only issue I had with Alex Wassabi's round one performance was, although he was throwing a lot of those combos and they were very good, I don't know if there was a lot of power behind them. He wasn't setting his feet for some of them. There was a lot of them that was overextended. Instead of throwing it from the hip and going a straight arm, he was throwing it and moving over like that. It overextending a lot of the time, and obviously it doesn't really matter if you're going against other YouTube content creators, because they're not professional boxers. They're most likely not going to be able to take advantage of that, and Idubbbz didn't. But obviously you don't really want to do that, because then that puts you off balance. If they catch you even with an alright shot, you might fall. It might be considered a knockdown. So Alex was making that mistake. I don't believe he was setting his feet for a lot of them. But the biggest issue, I thought that there just wasn't a lot of power behind Alex's shots. By what it seemed, I don't know if Idubbbz was just taking them very well, or Alex didn't have a lot of power behind those shots. I just know each time he was hitting them, he was throwing a lot of combos. Idubbbz continued to come forward, although fair play to Idubbbz, he did that against Dr. Mike kind of too. So who knows, maybe Alex does have power behind those hands, but it just looked like he was throwing a lot of nice shots, but it was more speed and accuracy rather than power, which is alright, because at the end of the day, you want to get points, you want to gain points, you land shots, you throw. You don't need to be the heaviest hitter, you just need to land the shots accurately, and that's what Alex was doing. Now moving on to round two. So yes, in this round, Idubbbz actually pushed Alex and put Alex on the back foot this time. Not by choice. Alex, was usually coming forward jabbing, staying on the back foot jabbing, and was actually doing that to his pace. Idubbbz rushed him this time and actually took the pace in control. He pushed him, he started throwing, he got Alex against the ropes and started throwing, and you could see Alex, although he handled it well in most parts, there was times you could say that Alex didn't really know what to do. He was started to panic, because he knew that wasn't his pace that he worked at. He knew he wasn't in control of the pace, wasn't in control of the fight. So when Idubbbz did that, he had some success against Alex. The only issue is he did it, had some success, then stopped doing it. Then it went back to the same thing of Alex was using his jab, outboxing Idubbbz. When they got clinched, one thing Alex did very well is when they got clinched, Alex would literally just maneuver out of the clinch very well, get in a better position. He would also throw out of the clinch instead of just, clinching, staying there until you get broke up. He would break himself out of the clinch and throw while breaking out, which most people don't do. So you don't really expect to have to dodge a punch out of the clinch, and it's also going to be hard because you're basically being pushed off. You can't really be pushed off and dodge instantly. So he was catching Idubbbz with a lot of those, and I thought it was very good. But it's when Idubbbz applied the pressure, it put Alex under a little bit of, it made him feel uncomfortable a little bit, and then he stopped doing it, and Alex went right back to doing what he done best, which was outbox Idubbbz in that case. But then it ended with literally Ian, in my opinion, got saved by the bell. Alex started unloading the punches. I don't think he probably would have knocked Ian down, but the ref might have stopped it and stopped it if the bell didn't go. So Ian kind of got saved by the bell just in case the ref stopped it and goes, right, he's not throwing, I've had enough. But we're moving on to round 3. Round 3 was the same thing. Ian started applying pressure. When he did, he got success. Then, whenever he was applying that pressure, he had Alex on the back foot. Alex was continuing to throw combinations. The only difference, though, was, Alex wasn't throwing with intent. He wasn't throwing with the idea, I'm going to hurt this guy, I'm going to land here, I'm going to knock this guy out. Alex was just throwing with the intent of, when he comes forward, if I throw back, hopefully he'll back off. That was his idea. He didn't have the idea of landing properly. Obviously, he wanted to, but he didn't think that part through. He didn't think, right, I'm going to do this to hurt him, to do this. In his mind, you could tell he was like, I'm going to throw to get him to feel one of my punches so he'll back off a little bit and I can reset. It was literally just the case of he went into defense mode where he threw everything to try and just get that distance. And you could tell that there was no intent of power behind it. There was no intent of, there was accuracy, but there was no intent of power or knockout or damage there. It was just the case of, right, I gotta get space. If I throw, hopefully he'll back up. I can get a couple seconds to regroup real quick, and then we can go back at it. So he did that. It kind of worked. Idubbbz kind of backed off. But what I learned from this round is, when you pressure Alex Wassabi, it depends what way you pressure him, is whether how he does well with it. It's 50-50. If you pressure Alex in a boxing situation and you pressure him and try to jab with him and box with him, I think Alex Wassabi has success. I think he does very well whenever you're trying to pressure up close, you're trying to throw those jabs, you're trying to actually box him. I think Alex knows, right, I'm going to slip this, come here, jab that, change the angle, do that. I think Alex is very smart and quick on the spot. Whether you like Alex or not, you got to give it credit. I think he's very good when it comes to that. But when you pressure him in a dogfight type of thing, which I noticed, because when Idubbbz pressured him in a dogfight situation where he clinched, he just roughed him up, swung him about, started throwing all these punches. You could tell Alex started to panic a little bit, and that's whenever he just started throwing flurries and just didn't have any intent, and he was just trying to survive at that point. When Ian came close but used his jab like that, instead of getting in close and just going to the body and getting real up close and throwing those haymakers and just going for it, when he actually just tried to use the jab and try to go like that to back off a little bit, that's when Alex succeeded. But when he turned it into a dogfight, that's when Alex threw the flurry. So I think it depends what way. If you're going to try and box Alex Wassabi, I think the chances are he's probably going to outmaneuver you, because he's improved a lot since the Deji fight. But if you're going to try and dogfight, I think that's one thing Alex needs to get better at. He needs to get better at the dogfight. But still, to be fair to him, like I said, when it gets to a dogfight, usually you clinch. And Alex, I think one of his biggest strengths is knowing how to clinch. He knows when to clinch. He knows how to maneuver in the clinch, how to maneuver out of the clinch, and to throw coming out of the clinch, which a lot of people don't do. So, fair play to Alex for knowing all of that. Round 4, Idubbbz came back, started pressuring again, started succeeding. He relaxed for 1 second, and Alex Wassabi came over with a big overhand right. Now, did it stop Ian? No, it didn't. But that's the point. He literally relaxed for 1 second, took the pressure off for 1 second, and Alex saw that opening through the big overhand right and landed with it. It didn't hurt Ian by the looks of it. Maybe he felt it, but it didn't hurt him in the form of making Ian think, oh shit, getting dazed and all that. But you could tell it made Ian be like, right, I'm going to back up a little bit here, because Alex threw it right over the top. So that shows that you cannot relax when pressuring Alex, or else he's going to throw and obviously counter in that case. Then the last 50 seconds, Alex Wassabi starts throwing all those combos, things right. Last 50 seconds, Ian has made this a little bit of a closer fight than it should have been. I'm going to started throwing those crazy combos, started landing a lot of them. I think that brought him the 4th round back convincingly again, so there was no talk whatsoever. He hit Idubbbz with a lot of good shots. Fair play to Idubbbz. He continued walking forward. He took those shots, and he just stayed there. He didn't back up. He just stayed there, continued coming forward until the final bell. And that was the end of it. That was the bell rung. 4 rounds, 3 minutes. Alex Wassabi is the clear winner. Alex landed more jabs. He landed more power punches. He had better footwork. He had better defense. He just found the angles better. He threw punches out of the clinch. Alex done, in my opinion, everything right. I think his issues was he needs to learn how to handle pressure better when it is an up-close fight, not a boxing fight, but a dog fight. I think he needs to get more power behind his shots, maybe sit down on his shots a little bit more when throwing them. But I can't really think more what he would have to improve on, because it's like when he fought Idubbbz was coming forward throwing the same punches for the most part, you know what I mean? Like, Alex knew what he was going to throw. If you put Alex against someone different, it's going to be a completely different story. Alex against Slim, Alex against Deji again, different story. But, you know, for this, I think that he did very well in this fight. I think even if you dislike Alex Wassabi, you have to give him credit. He had a very good performance here, and he beat Idubbbz convincingly, and it wasn't a close fight. There was times Ian made it a little bit of a close fight, but I don't think there was ever a time where I sat and thought, right, Idubbbz is going to win this fight. You know what I mean? Even when he was landing, Alex somehow got out of that like danger and recovered. So now the big question is, what's next for Alex? He's beat Idubbbz. He obviously beat Deji. Now, Deji versus Swarms is going to be a thing. I think, assuming Deji beats Swarms, Alex Wassabi versus Deji rematch will be very good because now Alex has improved. Deji improved since him and, you know, started throwing punches. He beat Fusi, which, yes, didn't really throw that much, but Deji shown that he wasn't afraid to throw at that point. That was his issue against Alex. If he had thrown punches, there's a good chance he might have beat Alex. He might not have, but he might have, and that was the issue. So, assuming Deji beats Swarms, I would like to see Deji versus Alex Wassabi too. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the rematch. I think that'll be a very interesting fight. But overall, I think Alex performed very well. I think he did himself proud. He needs to work on a few things, but you know, you're never going to have a perfect performance. I don't think, even if you knock the person out in 30 seconds, you can't judge everything then. So I still don't think you could ever have a perfect performance. So he can go back, he can work on a few things, working a little bit of power, sitting down on those shots, work on that pressure a little bit more, maybe spar with bigger guys. And yeah, that's what I think of the whole thing. I think Alex definitely took the dub convincingly, and I thought it was an entertaining fight for the most part. I think Alex handled it very well. Let me know in the comments below what your opinions are. I probably rambled on, but you know, I wanted to give my breakdown of the fight. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you want to see Alex Wassabi fight Deji again? What do you think's next for him? Now, I will say after seeing this, I do think Alex has improved a lot, but I don't think him and KSI should fight because I know KSI would win. That's not me being a dick to Alex. I think Alex, I already said I think Alex would actually give KSI a little bit of issues with just landing on him, but I just don't see any world where Alex beats KSI. That's still the case, but I think Deji versus Alex is a close fight, and that's a good fight, and I'd like to see that. But let me know in the comments below what do you think. As always, hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are thinking positive. Hope you all are testing negative. Hope you all have an amazing day. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. So, peace.